Okay, so this last one, you hinted on it in some comments a while ago, but this is also an incredibly poignant thought because we believe and are conditioned to say, I work, I work, I work, I work, I work, I gain, I gain, I gain. And then at some point in the future, I get to kick my feet up. I get to enjoy everything that I've done. Nobody but bothers me anymore, and I get to live out the rest of my life enjoying that. In the video with Steven and Kevin, Steven asked Kevin a question. What happens if it all goes away? All of it. Everything we thought we valued, everything we had worked for, the reputation we had pushed so hard to develop, all the attention and things that come with that we gain. What happens if it all goes away? Let me throw that out to you, G. What happens?
I thought about this question today, even before we hopped on this call, because as I drove through town, I passed so many of my ex clients in the building.
Mm,
I passed them, and English. It felt. I had a moment where I felt it deep in my stomach, and I asked myself, "Hey, Gerren, what's that? Why
mm,
are you feeling that way?" And I felt the way because I believed that we parted ways, not on my terms, but also I believe as though there was a sour taste in their mouth. I can't remember all the conversations or the reasons why, but I know that I have built strong relationships with my clients over the years. Us parting ways could have been for a variety of reasons. Some buildings have shut down, companies have moved, they've gone out of business. We just parted ways, different pricing. But man, I think the pleaser in me wanted it to go differently. So I was having an emotional reaction where it's like, man, all of these companies, like over all the years, like Gerren. And then I remembered the pivot. I remembered that I'm being I'm in the training grounds for something different. And I was able to release it and let it go. So to your question, what happens if it all goes away? I think for me the focusing, James, focusing on the what's next or focusing on what I'm being trained for, focusing on the training, right? Because again, what I'm being trained for can go in a variety of ways. We talked about all the different conversations and rooms that you'll be able to enter into because you prepared. Leaning into that brought me joy. So in my mind, I began to think, Gerren, keep going, Gerren, keep going, keep going. And as I said that, the thoughts of all the clients that I've seen that I'm passing up and down I-4 and what have you, they just started to dissipate because it's like, keep going. It's what's next, right? So I don't want to bring 2006, 2008, 2012 to 2025. I want to focus on what it is I'm being prepared for right now. Because life is a journey. I do know, James, that I would not have wanted to live an entire life doing just one thing. I do know that. So the beauty of life is creation, and I'm living in that right now, and that brings me joy. So what happens? I lean into what's next. What about you?
Man, I love the answer, man. And I had a similar experience the other day. I was talking to my mother, who's an investor in my business. So I feel compelled to give her frequent updates.
Yeah.
And I was talking to her, G, about everything we got going on. We got this, we got this, I'm traveling here, there, we got this deal, that deal pending, all the stuff happening. And she's like, oh my gosh, son, oh my gosh, I'm so proud, I'm so happy, I can't believe it. Look how far you've come, all of that. And then I said, but mom, what about this person and that person from my past?
Mm,
Um, I wonder how they would think about where I've come. I'm showing up so differently than the way I showed up, and to your point, things didn't really end perhaps as well as you would hope it to. So now you feel as though, if you pop up in a different way, almost like you have a weak spot that somebody could expose. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
he ain't nothing. Like he washed out here,
Yeah.
or he failed here, or he lost a client there. We got rid of him, or what have you. And you start to, despite all the positive momentum going on, despite all the stuff I was telling my mother, my brain went to that. And I had to stop myself. Just like similar to you, and say, James, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Again, back to this principle. If you are
Yeah.
holding on to what other people think of you, and even when all these positive things are happening, I'm still clutching to this ghost of an opinion, of a perspective, of a fear that has zero bearing on anything happening in my life today. Everything I talked about that's moving in my world, none of it is hinging or dependent on them. Which means God has moved me to a place where their opinion isn't an ingredient in
To
what he's currently cooking
yeah.
with me. It's
Got
not an
that.
ingredient. I didn't say it wasn't important. I didn't say they
Yeah.
were important. I said it's not an ingredient
Mm-hmm.
of where I am today. So to your point, leaning into the future. And the truth is, if you live your life the right way, if you are growing, if you are purposefully growing, you will lose it multiple times in your
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm. Yes. 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 Yes.
Whatever that it is, you will lose it multiple times, because if you don't, you will not grow with the intentionality that's required for you to start over, hit the reset button. You're not
Yep.
losing all the experiences and all those other things that come
Yeah.
with it. You're just losing the dead weight. You're
Yeah.
opening your fists and saying, I'm releasing everything I'm going through right now. The sand is moving under my feet. I know that I'm being called to something different, something greater, something better, something more towards my ultimate purpose.
Mm.
That's all. I have to lose it to get where I'm supposed to be. And so
Yeah.
that's what I'm learning is I just got to be I got to be okay with losing it, to going through the discomfort, right? Acknowledging the challenges and the fears that come with that. And then say, okay, those are feelings. I have an ability to impact my reality by how I show up. Any response to that, G?
No, this is good. This is good. I want people to know that that losing of it will have its emotions. So give yourself grace on that.
Yeah.
Recognize you are opening your hands to something new. Seasons, man. We got 4 seasons, right? There's death and then there's renewal, right? So if we look at ourselves, our lives in that same fashion, we'll recognize that we're going through a season. The season may not be months, it could be years. But if you would be open to that, man, there's such an experience along the way. I look at I look at what I'm going through right now and the people that I've met, the things that I've learned. I gotta drink some water. But there's so much that has happened over this period, and I wouldn't have had it had I held on. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful, man, that I've been opening my hands and that I have people around me that too are going through their thing so that there's support. In my book, I talk about that whole carpooling. This is what I mean about carpooling, right? Going on this journey together. We're going to stop off at different points because it's our individual journey, but together, man, there's support there that can help us weather these storms. And that's one of the things that I'm truly appreciative of. And when I think about Kevin, I don't know if you mentioned about his team. Did he talk about the people
Yeah, he
around him?
talked about his team. Yeah, he talks about growing people with him. It was the part of the conversation where it says, you surround yourself with people. And Kevin said,
Yeah,
I've chosen
that's
to
right.
grow my people as I have grown. because I
Yes.
trust them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So necessary, man. This is good. This is good. I'm glad that we really dove into his story, and then also we've been able to reflect and pull our stories out of his story.
Mm.
Does a really good job of interviewing folks. Um, I really appreciate the work that he does and the
Yep.
people he has on this podcast. Yeah.
Yep. 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 So Garen, as we start to kind of wrap, what's next? Right. So as you listen to this
Mm.
conversation, as we reflected on, where we are and how these kind of questions and exercises,
Yeah.
how they impact us, what would you say is next?
All I can see is tomorrow, James. All I can see and look at is my preparation for tomorrow. I know that I'm on a journey. I know that I'm committed to it. I know that I'm committed to growth, right? And keeping a growth mindset.
Hmm.
And what I'm going to be practicing is this. That's the holding on to and the releasing of. Because I think that's the only way that I'll be able to truly experience all that life has for me until I close my eyes.
Yep.
If ever I hold a fist, I am in a stagnant stage, and I want to practice the releasing of things so that it passes through me, and I get to experience all that I'm supposed to experience in my life, man. How about you?
Yep. Man, you couldn't have said it any better. I will continue to practice that. I'm also continuing to lean into this idea of being okay when the winds blow with you and against you.
Hmm.
Um, because the winds blowing against you are about strengthening you,
Hmm.
right? The winds blowing with you are about accelerating you. But both ways, it's a purpose. And when you are in the spaces we're in and you have so many irons in the fire, G, because you're trying to use every ounce of your time and energy towards growing and developing and pushing things forward, there's going to be winds that are constantly blowing. And it's the discernment of those winds. It's being able to look into that um, mess by some standard and find the beauty, find the direction, find the clarity. That I think is where the big next is for me, or the continuation of that journey. It's been incredibly rewarding. I'm being challenged in it every day now that I'm owning my own business and growing businesses and doing all these things. Similar to you, man. We both kind of started from quote unquote scratch at the same time. There's so much happening. It's making sure that I am authentic and I'm showing up the way I intend to show up and need to show up in those moments. So I'm not panicking when a client I may not win a deal, or a client may disengage. I'm not panicking. I'm recognizing that's just time I'm getting back so I can use and dedicate it to something else.
Sure.
It's those little things, man, that I'm really continuing to try to lean in on as I continue my journey outside of or beyond the comfort zone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So with that, thank you again to the audience for another episode. Expect more content like this from us. We really enjoy these discussions. This is, as Garen said earlier, this is our group chat coming to life, and we
Yeah.
want to keep that. We want to keep that momentum going on. So have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you again next time on Beyond the Comfort Zone. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, we could, yeah, we could, yeah, we could.